On this episode of Local to Global 1992, using Total Extreme Wrestling 9, we're going to look to get back into the swing of things after everything went wrong in our last episode. Our heavyweight champion Jerry Lynn is back from his injury, and we'll finally be crowning new tag team champions after they were vacated a couple of months ago. And my name is Anders, and this is Spike Piledriver Wrestling. We're doing the 1992 Local to Global save. It's currently in May of 1993. We're nearly 18 months into the save. And if you're enjoying this series so far, please remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, get watching the playlist, watch the WCW 2000 playlist as well. That series is going on strong. But as said, today we're finally going to have a title match. We've not had one since February when Jerry Lynn got injured, but he was only out for a couple of months. So he's kind of just been ticking along in the background. He's going to be defending the title again in our first show, and we're also going to be crowning new tag team champions after the Harris brothers had to vacate their title, with Don Harris being out for a year with a shattered kneecap. Before we get into tonight's show, a quick look at finances. April for the month, we ended up losing just under $600 over the month, but that was due to our merchandise upgrade costs. $1,000 on that meant we would have otherwise turned a profit, and that would, if we hadn't started upgrading our merchandising, been 4 months on the bounce of profit. But obviously it hasn't been because we've been doing that merchandising. We should be close to break even again by the end of this month as we continue to pump out new shows, but continue to upgrade our merchandise. As you can see here, we're currently at 50% as we are moving up towards the next level, using a rapid approach, so it's costing a little bit more but going a little bit quicker, 10% each week. Afterwards we'll have more money coming in from merchandising. Right, looking at our news since the last episode, Brian Armstrong decided to walk out on the company and left. He was just unhappy and left without giving any notice. There's a second person to do that, but he's gone as well. Larry Stevens and Neil Superior have also left at the end of their contracts. That was to be expected. Neither had really set anything alight. And then Jerry Lynn is now back from his injury. It happened mid-month. That injury obviously happened whilst he was in GWF, obviously not at Spike Piledriver Wrestling, but you know, he's injured everywhere. It's not anything we do. He's currently also the light heavyweight champion at PWA, as well as the heavyweight champion here. And also to note, the USA Wrestling promotion that is insignificant and small and in our southeast region, it's a territorial rival. They've also scaled down some of their production. I believe we still will have 1 warning rather than 4. Yeah, so our production values are still slightly lower, but they brought down their live event experience, broadcast quality, and music to the same level as ourselves because it's not sustainable to be running at those costs at the size they are currently at. Speaking of size, we are a 9 popularity in the southeast. Hopefully, after the 4 shows in today's episode, that will be up at 13, and then by the end of the year, we will touch 17 and get to tiny size by the end of 1993, hopefully. We've got 8 shows left of the year. 9 plus 8 equals 17. So hopefully we can do that and still get there. Obviously, the wrestling economy, or industry rather, in the US is currently weak, so that's going to have a bit of an impact on our ability to grow, but we are at such a level where that shouldn't matter, and we should still push through. As mentioned, champion-wise, Jerry Lynn is back. He's our heavyweight champion, has been for 182 days, but he's not defended the title for 91 of those days. So half of his reign has been without a defense. So that will happen tonight. He will defend. The King of Combat is obviously a tournament title, a Battle Royal title, which will be completed at the King of Combat show. Don't worry about that. Tag team titles are vacant currently. Don and Ron Harris had to vacate them in February after Don got injured. That will also change tonight as we go through our first show. We have made a few signings. So the Batten twins, Bart and Brad, are back. They were with us at some point during 1992. We brought them back in again. Again, a short-term deal. They will expire when we get to January. So we brought them in for 9 months. But they have some decent popularity in the southeast, so should be a good foundational heel tag team to utilise in the division. Also, new signings are rookies Carl Greco, who was trained by Joe Malenko, brother of our star Dean Malenko. He has no popularity, but does have pretty good set of fundamentals and physicals and some decent, actually, top-line stats. So maybe that'll be a good addition to the roster. And also Christopher Daniels, pre-Fallen Angel, but he has come through as well as a rookie. He's got, again, no popularity, but a real good foundation and abilities to try and build upon, and he's one for the future. Hopefully he has a better personality than some of the other stars we signed in recent months. Speaking of new stars as well, Eddie Golden joins us. He has got a few years of experience. He's also got 32 popularity in the Southeast. He will be joining us on the heel side of the roster. And is there anyone? I think I had a feeling we got someone else in there, but maybe we've already covered those in recent week. No, so Battens, no, that's 5. That is 5. No, that is everyone we've signed recently. And we've still got Bradshaw, who is still a pain backstage. Raven is very angry at the moment, so hopefully we can keep him happy. I obviously can't give him any money to make him happier, but we'll get him happy. And he's changed his style to a psychopath, though, which is annoying. But he is definitely someone who can go in the ring, has got some very, very good skills and fundamental abilities that we can try and utilise at the top of our card, and hopefully he won't leave before that happens. Right, let's go into tonight's show, which is High Voltage. We have got 4 shows tonight. High Voltage, Doomsday, Immortals, and Endgame will end the episode in August, and then the final 4 shows of 1993 we'll rattle through in the next episode. Obviously, you need to make sure you are subscribed. I've mentioned that already, but please do so you don't miss any future episodes. Right, tonight we will not be giving people the night off, even though we probably should, and we will be going for a generic venue in the Southeast. 132 fans expected in attendance, even though this is a free event, which is indicative of the wrestling industry currently. Booking team, we don't have any enough rather creative energy to store to use anything here, so we'll just keep going. That's our booking team. Obviously, if you're unfamiliar, Dave Hebner, who is our road agent referee, Al Snow, Dean Malenko, and Jeff Jarrett are all part of the booking team. Locker room incidents. Ravens failed to show up for a meeting with a road agent, and Dave Hebner's fined him. That has actually had a small positive impact on Scotty the Body. I'm surprised. He's happy. He's happy at this action. Excellent. He's been punished and he's happy. Bradshaw provoked Jeff Jarrett into a huge argument. Wonderful. Jarrett's annoyed, calls it soft. Joe Kazana has got a backstage idea for enhancing his character. We can use that. And Scotty the Body has also done similar for his character. We're definitely going to use that one. Dennis Allen and Scott Studd are now travel buddies. Good. Hopefully that doesn't... Well, they've both got not defined personalities, so that's fine. Al Snow's done some training, helping out the new guys as well. And then Dennis Allen's got into an argument with Bart Batten backstage. I changed the... That's another thing I did, actually. I changed the morale officer and Rocky... was it Rocky King? No, King Cobra. He's gone. That was the other thing on the roster I meant to mention. Sorry. We'll go and have a look at that again in a second. Rocky King is here, but King Cobra has gone. And Bart Batten's joined, and everyone seems to be annoyed with him for being the morale officer. Everyone's got heat with people. Why does that happen? No, we're not going to address the locker room. It never ends well. Whilst we are here, let's have a look at the inner circle. So, Bart Batten has come in as new morale officer. King Cobra didn't like the fact that he got removed from his position, and then he left. So that was that, basically. Absent workers, Don Harris is out injured, and so is Todd Morton, so nothing new there. Right, we've got 6 segments pre-booked. Hopefully I can remember in the order of which to put them on the card, because we need to do main event down last. So that one, add to booking sheet, yes. Then that match, add to booking sheet. There we go. We are, I know, Jeff Jarrett, whatever. Yeah, we are adding the shows in the right order. So we've got a tag title match to add in. We've got a heavyweight title match to add in. We've also got other matches on the card, which is worth... I think I put one of them in the wrong place, speaking of. So this Raven match here needs to move down. There we go. So yeah, 2 title matches on the card. We're actually going very close to the full 75 minutes. Jeff Jarrett's unhappy with the booking of his match, but sorry, Jeff, it needs to happen. No announcers set for anything else. Right, whilst we are here, Scotty the Body had a creative idea. He had this one. Let's deploy this. It's very risky character idea, but it will boost his momentum. Yes, we'll deploy it. It's a success. Excellent. He's got very hot momentum. He's still annoyed. So he's happy. He's turning it around. He's turning his morale around. So his gimmick details are good. He's got very good gimmick. And where's Joe Kazana? There he is. Let's see if we can turn his momentum around a little bit as well. And see, that's a extremely risky idea. And see if it's successful. It was a failure. So he's got even chillier momentum. And, well, there we go. It's hampered his morale a little bit. Okay, into tonight's show, which is high voltage. You've kind of got the idea of the card here. We've got a tag match with some newcomers. Scotty the Body is in action. Tag title match. Heavyweight title match. Let's see how we go through the show. Okay. Opening contest. 135 people in attendance. Angus King teams up with Dean Malenko on his quest to find someone to be his tag team partner and help him develop. And, of course, Dean Malenko, being the saviour of this series, has got excellent chemistry with Kane. So that is fantastic. We are going to team those guys up and take Kane to the top with Dean Malenko basically dragging him up with performance-wise. Dean drops in a 69, obviously, because that's nice, and he's just head and shoulders above everyone else. Christopher Daniels gets a 20 for his first match, and Greco gets a 23. Both of them get an adequate rating for their debut gimmick, but that's basically Dean Malenko taking everyone who is green and new and showing them how to do it. We will put those together in the future. Angus King, do we see here? Does he get a bonus? No, he's get penalised for being inexperienced. Everyone does, apart from Dean Malenko. But that chemistry bonus has definitely helped. I think the squash element of the match with Angus King has helped as well. It gets a 36 rating overall for the opening contest, and we go into our next match, which sees Scotty the Body not put in as much of a performance as I was hoping for. He gets a 39. I thought he would do a little bit better than that. But he gets a 33 rating overall. He wins it with a pile driver. It was a bit of a storytelling match, so maybe that brought down the in-ring performance a little bit. But Joe Kazana continues to be steady, in middle of the road kind of performance here on the SPW shows. He's been around for about 3 months now. But then we get into our tag team title match, and the Ebony Experience get the victory after defeating Tommy Angel following a towering inferno, and they've won back the tag team championships. Tommy Angel and Brian Lee, though, putting in great performances, 58 and 54 respectively. Booker was off his game slightly, which dragged it down to a 38 for him. But the Harlem Heat chemistry and tag team specialist bonuses will obviously have helped drag things up. A 48 wrestling rating and a 52 segment rating for this match is definitely, so far, match of the night, and an excellent way to get the tag team titles back into our rotation, essentially. And then afterwards, we had an angle where they've regained their titles and shake the hands of their opponents from tonight. Legion of Death have asked for a rematch next month at Doomsday, and the champions are happy to accept. Tag team title storyline continues. Lost heat a little bit, but then it's because it's followed up that great match with a 47 angle rating. Stevie Ray does a great job of improvising his interactions with the crowd, but Tommy Angel struggles a little bit, and we'll have this rematch again later in the episode at the next show at Doomsday. Right, final main event. Jerry Lynn defeats Jeff Jarrett via disqualification when Scotty the Body runs in and attacks Jerry Lynn. This was another specific storytelling match. Ron Harris also ran in and attacked Lynn. Lynn makes his 5th defense of the title, and Jarrett is unhappy with the booking, but he lost by disqualification. What more does he want? He didn't lose clean. Wrestling rating of 60. I think this might be our first DQ match. Definitely our first DQ title match. Jarrett drops a 55. Lynn with a 66. And overall, the segment gets a 66 rating with some great wrestling in the ring and some decent crowd reactions as well. We follow that up with Scotty the Body and Ron Harris laying down a beating on Jerry Lynn. Jarrett's far from happy, but he decides to join in by putting the boots to the champion as well. This one will continue into next month. Whether it's a Jarrett rematch or Scotty the Body weasels his way into a title match, we will see. But that match didn't end very well for Jarrett. He lost via disqualification. We have increased our popularity in one region. We've got 60 overall rating. Excellent stuff. Match of the night, obviously, being the main event, 66. Tag titles did well as well. And the undercard serviced what it needed to service. Locker room-wise, we'll give Jarrett some praise just to try and improve his morale. And also, we'll drop on some for Brian Lee as well, because he is putting in some good performances so far. Yeah, pleased. Wonderful. Finance-wise, we lost $855 on the show. We'll make all of that back up with sponsorship going forward as well. Merchandise is now going up a little bit, 68. We'll see where we end the month very shortly. And we get up to 10 in the Southeast, which is down to double digits, so excellent. Obviously, there'll be some spillover that will happen as well, but we'll cover that when we get to the beginning of June and our next show, Doomsday, right after this screen thing. Okay, things are set for Doomsday. A quick finance cover of the month of May, and obviously because there were 5 weeks in May, we spent an extra $250 on merchandise, which means we got to $866 for the loss for the month. Obviously, we are now only 1 week left. I think we're at 90% of the merchandise. I'll check that in a second. So this spend here should be $250, which, everything else being equal, will make a profit this month in June. So hopefully that will be the case. We've got quite a few matches booked for the show, though, which are tag team matches, so we'll potentially be eating into some of that potential profit, but we shall see. Obviously, yes, 1 week left of the upgrade, and I think we might just leave it at amateur for now. That will take us to 100%, yeah, the next week. So, excellent. A few bits to mention from our emails. Bradshaw has left. We basically rearranged his contract, so he'd only got a month left, and he's gone. He was a pain backstage and wasn't quite ready for it in the ring yet. We might bring him back in the future, but not whilst his personality is still a bully. Carl Greco has been around for a month and already gone from toned to muscular. Mike Barton has also changed his wrestling style to regular wrestler. Our rivals, USA Wrestling, have moved their production values down to limited because, as I said, it's not sustainable, so that will get rid of that penalty there. And Todd Morton is back from his injury, so he was back to start wrestling again. He's not booked this month, though, but we will use him on the undercard of future shows. Right, we've got Doomsday. It's the 4th of June, 1993. So let's go into our second show of the episode. And obviously, if you recall a few seconds ago, we had that main event, which had a controversial finish, and we're going to bring a steel cage to Doomsday. So that will be pretty spectacular. 134 fans expected in attendance again. We'll do another generic venue just to keep things ticking over. So hopefully we can get 130 plus. Again, it's free. We're keeping these free shows going until we get sort of maybe at the end of this episode for the final run towards the end of the year. We'll start charging again for entry. Booking wise, we've got 60 stored. Creative energy, what we're going to spend it on today? That is a good question. Maybe I like creative. We'll just go with a creative finish. It's a near certainty and can only apply where Jerry Lynn is set to be the victor. I've got an idea for that one that might be able to be used today. Locker room incidents, hopefully nice and quiet backstage. Brett Colt organised a poker tournament, excellent. Al Snow did some training, wonderful. Bart Batten tried to bring Todd Morton in for some team building and annoyed him. I'm beginning to think that a morale officer is a curse. Scotty the Body is clearly unhappy with him as well. Wonderful. Excellent. We're not going to dress the locker room. It never works. Absent workers tonight. Christopher Daniels is working elsewhere. I didn't realise that. I think I've got him booked. Yes, never mind. We can replace Christopher Daniels with Todd Morton, so that will be fine. Right then, let's get these matches added to the card from pre-booking. So we want this guy, Angle, at the end of the show, and then our main event here. In fact, no, we want to add in that creative finish, don't we? This one, yes. Add that in there. I'm sorry, Jeff, you're going to be annoyed again. But that's just what happens. Yeah. Add in the tag title match as well. So we've got tag title rematch. Yes, sorry, Booker. Sorry, carry on. And then we've got 3 other matches on the card. So we want to start the show with this one, with the Batten twins making their return. Then we've got Dean Malenko and Kane teaming up again. And Scott... oh yes, that's the one. As mentioned, Christopher Daniels is away today. He's on tour. So we want Todd Morton to add on to this one. There we go. Nothing else needs to change. Yes, fine. That's okay. We can't change it from the pre-booking. Okay, booking analysis. A little bit unhappy with a couple of results. No announcers for the 5 matches we've got tonight. And that pre-booked match there is not being shown. We probably ought to get some of these guys back on the card. We've got a lot of heels that we haven't used a lot recently. So Scott Studd hasn't been used since February. Rocky King came in for a couple of matches and hasn't been used since December. A few guys from March, Brett Colt and Kit Montana, since they began teaming together, haven't been used, and Al Snow hasn't been used since April. So we probably ought to get those guys on the next show, which will be July, obviously. But right, we're ready to go for Doomsday, and let's start the show. 134 in attendance again, and we start with Scotty the Body getting a victory over Todd Morton. I'm not quite sure why the segment rating dinged so much here. Crowd got off to a hot start, 42 for Raven, 35 for Morton, but the segment rating got dragged down to 25, which is a little bit. Okay, not anything really to worry about. So yeah, fine. 25 rating to start the show. It's probably just a little bit short for everyone's liking. Then Angus King and Dean Malenko dominated their match against Dennis Allen and Joe Kazana. Malenko getting the victory this time with a Texas Cloverleaf. We used the creative finish for Malenko, which helped boost things. Malenko got a 60, so he's been dragged down a little bit by everyone else in the match, which is a shame, but it's keeping him busy whilst he's not involved in the title picture. And the title picture adjacent, Kane's performance is up to 30, which I think it was around that level last time out, so hopefully he's learning from Malenko and their excellent chemistry together. 29 rating for the match, and then we're going to get into some decent things. So we've got the Batten twins in the... Now, I got these matches the wrong way around, didn't I? But the Batten twins come back. Pretty poor gimmick ratings, but decent in the ring. Carl Greco and Mike Jackson not up to scratch, and only a 5-minute match as well. This one got a 21 rating, so this is the lower part of the card, all in the 20s. The next 2 matches will hopefully shoot the rating for this show up. And if it doesn't, I've made a boo-boo. Right, next up, Ebony Experience against Legion of Death for the tag titles once again. And this time we get a different winner. The Legion of Death defeat the Ebony Experience with Brian Lee using a primetime slam on Booker to get the victory. And we have new tag team champions once again. Tommy Angel and Brian Lee with great performances. Harlem Heat back up there as well. So Booker was off his game last time around with a 38, I think it was. And he's got a 47 this time. Segment rating of 55. Pulls in a great rating. And the Legion of Death are our new tag team champions. So I think that was a success. Obviously, everyone getting nice bonuses for being good tag teams and tagging together with good chemistry and all of this nonsense and good bonuses. So excellent, that's worked. We've got a new set of tag teams. The tag titles have been defended 2 shows in a row, which is really good. After the match, a 50 rating for the Angle as Booker and Stevie show great respect, hand the Legion of Death their new tag team titles and shake their hands. We have new champions. Everyone apart from Tommy Angel did some sort of good thing in this Angle. Brian Lee and and both members of Harlem Heat working well without script. Tommy Angel a little bit underwhelming, but still got a 50 rating, which is really, really good and on par nearly with the match. And then an absolutely exceptional contest. Jerry Lynn and Jeff Jarrett inside a steel cage for our heavyweight title, and it was a long one, a 24-minute match, 23:50. And ultimately a cradle pile driver from Lynn to Jarrett inside a cage. No interference, no nothing. All settled. 6th defense of the title. A 73 rating for this match. That is utterly ridiculous. Jerry Lynn with a 78. Jeff Jarrett with a 60. The creative finish was a success as well. And it's just... perfect. You could not ask for anything better than that. That, That 78 performance right there is better than anything Dean Malenko's ever given us. And that's just phenomenal. That's giving me doubts about where I'm going next with this championship and storyline. But we'll see. We'll play it out. Jerry Lynn with a 78. That is incredible. 73 performance. After the bell, as the cage is being taken down, Scotty the Body and Ron Harris run in. The shattered Jerry Lynn can put up absolutely no defense as Harris drops in with a powerbomb on the orders of Scotty the Body. Next month at Immortals, Scotty will show the world that he is the next heavyweight champion. He's going to challenge Lynn for the title at our July event, Immortals, which will happen at the beginning of next month, or in real terms, in about a minute and a half. But that show is a 67, which is a lot better than the 10 popularity we've currently got in the Southeast. So it will have increased our popularity, no doubt. Yes, let's address the locker room. Jerry Lynn, Jeff Jarrett, you pair, absolutely awesome. That is all I'm going to say. Both of you, absolutely awesome. Finance-wise, we've made a loss on the show because we've brought in a lot of wrestlers for 5 matches. I think 3 of them were tag matches as well. So $710 for worker costs. That's normally around about $400-500. So it's a little bit boosted. And obviously, it's just how we've done things tonight to try and get everyone on the card. Made a loss of just over $1,000 on the show. We'll make all of that back with sponsorship, and hopefully we'll just about break even for the month. We've not gone up to 11 though, which is very, very annoying. We've got to be like 10.8 or something daft there, because that should be enough to move us up to 11. I'm disappointed that it's not. It's basically, we're going up 3 for every 4 shows, it looks like, essentially. So it's a little bit disappointing. But a 67 overall rating for that show is definitely, it's got to be, 100% will be, our best show yet. And the only thing to note is Yokozuna's gone from, he keeps going on tour in Japan. If we look at the top 100, that is definitely, 67 is the best event. Best match, hands down, Jerry Lynn and Jeff Jarrett. They have got the top 3 ratings now. Jerry Lynn is in the top 5. Dean Malenko's been replaced as our best bout machine, I think. That is getting to be close to being sure there. Finance-wise, obviously, we're going to have to try and pull back that 900 performance deficit, really, that we're in. We'll get an extra 1,000 and, yeah, probably an extra 1,300 on sponsors. Spend 250 of that on merchandise, but everything else should be roundabout where we'd expect it to be. So we should break even for the month. But next up, we've got Immortals, which will have our title match between Raven and Jerry Lynn. I think we'll probably beat last year's effort of a 38. And then Endgame will come up not long afterwards. So that is where we are heading next. So be back in a second with some more action from 1993. Okay then, before we get into our Immortal show number 3 of the episode, we're going to do a proper deep dive into the finances. So, last month in June, we made $145, which is the first profit we've made since the first couple of months of the year. Only the 4th month, actually, during the save, where we've actually made money, actually. But the key is, now we've done those improvements to merchandise, this should be 0 from now on, not the levels it's been in previous months. And that should mean we can start making some profit. So, if we look at the estimates for sponsorship, that comes in at just under $1,600. That'll be slightly higher once we've ran the show today as well. So that will give us, let's call it a conservative $1,600 from sponsorship. Merchandise-wise, if we go to this screen here, we should get $3 per popularity point per region each month, plus around $1 per fan in attendance. So if we have 130 fans in attendance, that's 130. And if we quickly look here, we can add up 10, 12, 24 in the US, and I think we've got some spillover in Mexico as well, 25, 26. So yeah, say that's $26, which times 3 is what, 78? 78 plus 130, call it a conservative $200, which takes us to $1,800 profit for the month. Now, income for the month. Expenditure-wise, show cost should be about $300. Marketing should be about $50. Merchandise should be 0. Production should be $250. So call that $300, $600, $625 maybe at a push plus worker costs. Now, worker costs last month were high because we had 5 matches, 3 of them tag. This month, we're only going to have 4 matches, only one of them, I think, is a tag team match. So we should be in and around $400-500. Call it 5, maybe even go conservative and call it 6. That will take us to around $1,200 expenditure for the month. So 17 minus 12 is 5. We should, in theory, make $500 in this month. That's the theory. We shall see whether we do so or not. If we do, obviously we'll lose about 25 from tax, but that is what happens when you start making money. So profit performance for the end of the month should be, after tax, around about $475. Remember that for about 10 minutes time when we do the financial review of July and we've lost money. Okay, into the action in the ring, which we'll get to in a second. There's our merchandise upgrade, which we don't need to worry about anymore. These are our title situation from the same the champions from last month. New champions on the tag team side of things. King of Combat is coming in the next episode as well, so look out for that Battle Royal on one of the shows in the next episode. But it's Immortals tonight, which we have another title match. Raven, or whatever his name is, Scotty the Body, will be challenging Jerry Lynn for the title. We're going to go in 135 fans expected again, so we'll go for a generic venue. What I'm thinking is if we do make $450 profit this time around, we'll start charging for shows again from the next show in August. So we'll do that by the end of this video. We've got no money. It's creative energy, or whatever it's called, not money. We've got a big gamble creative finish that we can use before September, which we, I think, maybe use this time around. Not in our main event, though. I don't want that to bomb. Locker room incidents. Brad Batten has been hanging out with Scott Studd, and people have started to notice that he's having an influence. So hang on. Scott Studd is having influence, or Brad Batten? Either way, neither have got a bad personality, so that's fine. Brad Batten's lightened the mood as well backstage. Well done. Al Snow's done some training. Christopher Daniels is here this time. And there's a bit of heat between Al Snow and Bart Batten because having a morale officer doesn't work, apparently. But that's it. No terrible backstage incidents. We're not going to address the locker room and who is absent. Just Don Harris, who's injured still, so that's okay. I did actually know, we'll cover that actually whilst we're here. I was looking through the roster and I thought Ron Harris would have higher popularity than Don because Don's been out injured and Ron's been involved in the title picture, kind of. But he's got 30, Don, and Ron is down at 28, so that's surprising. Interesting to note, Jerry Lynn is now in 50s in the Southeast, so after his pay rise up to $100, well, who knows, probably about 4 months ago now, when he got injured, actually. That's probably going to be requesting another pay rise again soon because he is skyrocketing with his performance. That match last month, him and Jarrett in the cage, was really, really spectacular. Jarrett's up to 46 as well. In fact, let's track progress, just see where he started. So a year ago, he was down at 27. He's doubled his popularity almost in a year, which is not a bad effort. Jarrett, on the other hand, slowly ticked up from 38 to 46. There's no really one else who's anywhere close. Dean Malenko's got 33. If we quickly flick through, I don't think anyone else has got anything remotely as high as those pair. Rocky King's still on 38, but we haven't used him for a long time. Harlem Heat are doing quite nicely around the world as well. Right, let's go into tonight's show. We've got some matches pre-booked. Obviously, we like to pre-book our matches. We're going to go with the angle first, and then that one, Jerry Lynn and Raven in the main event. And then we have our tag title match as well, another tag title match. Booker T having a singles contest, there being an angle there as well, and then Al Snow facing Eddie Golden, who, by the way, we have decided to make a face, because looking at the split between the roster, there's not enough faces on the roster compared to heels, so we just switched him over. The only person who's not wrestled in the last few months who needs to is Scott Studd, but he's unimportant according to his perception. probably and his place on the roster. So that's okay. We'll get him on next month. We'll job him out to someone. But a 72-minute show tonight. Matches 88%. We're nearly at the point of being a bit over our expectation. But let's go into the show and see how many people are here. 135 in attendance again. And we start with Al Snow losing to Eddie Golden. So Eddie Golden gets his debut victory. Both put in pretty strong performances, actually. 44 for Snow, 40 for Golden. He debuted an adequate rating for his old school face gimmick, and he gets a 38, which is not a bad start to the show. Obviously, tonight we are without Dean Malenko and Jeff Jarrett, so that will be key to tell whether we can actually pull out decent matches without our two of our three strongest wrestlers. Booker T announces to the fans that the Ebony Experience have decided to try their hands at singles competition for the next few months. This isn't a split up. They will be regrouping and going to reclaim their tag team titles once again in the future. And basically, we can't keep having the title switch between the Legion of Death and Ebony Experience. So I'm going to try Booker out as a singles. I'll try Stevie out as a singles as well. See if we get any momentum with either of them. Probably won't be going towards the world title. But we shall see how we get on, basically. And then by the end of the year, we'll probably drop them back in a tag team because it's still quite early on. Rocky King lost to Booker T, so hopefully this will shift a bit of popularity onto Booker. Rocky is still rusty. He was rusty last time we used him. We haven't used him for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months maybe. But there we go. It's kind of where we are, essentially. Booker got the victory with a Harlem Hangover, though. And the story was that he's now a singles competitor, and essentially he will be continuing to try out being a singles competitor going forward. 30 rating for the match, a little bit disappointing, but Booker on his side of things did as well as you could expect. Then, speaking of tag teams, the Legion of Death put in a good performance against the Long Riders, and we get this is potentially the best match involving the Long Riders on the save so far. A 50 segment rating for this one. Tommy Angel and Brian Lee in the 50s with their performance. Brett Colt, Kip Montana in the high 30s, actually, which is actually quite good. So they've only just recently started, well, I say recently, it's probably about 5 months now, started being a team together. But they've done the JOB for the tag team champions. An exceptional match, though. Wrestling rating of 45, gets a segment rating of 50 overall. Nice tag team specialist bonus for the Long Riders there. But champions retain for their first defense of the titles. And then we go into our main event, which sees Scotty the Body defeat Jerry Lynn with a piledriver following interference from Ron Harris. Raven is our new heavyweight champion. Now, you might be asking what on earth I'm doing getting the title off Jerry Lynn when he drops in-ring performances like 73 and Raven's only down at 42. But my thinking is Jerry Lynn's popularity is through the roof right now. If he keeps winning and putting in performances like this, his popularity is going to keep going up and we won't be able to afford him any longer and he'll want to leave. So, I'm trying to stop him from growing too much and outgrowing the company. I'll put him on the back burner for a little bit and he's probably going to become champion again before the end of the year. But we're going to see how Scotty the Body gets on. Obviously, he's a heel, so that takes Jeff Jarrett a little bit out of the title picture as well. But this has gone quite well. A 66 rating for the segment is better than I was expecting. Obviously, Scotty the Body's upped his performance. It was down in the high 30s. It's now 42. Nowhere near Jerry Lynn's 73, obviously. But good enough. And we've got a really good match out of it. And he's got some great star quality, in-ring ability. He's basically got the potential to be, he's Raven. So potential to be a champion at a higher stage when we grow the company. So that is a good, interesting decision to have Raven become our new champion. After the match, Scotty the Body grabs the heavyweight title and Ron Harris lifts him onto his shoulders. The pair have stolen the title from Jerry Lynn and we close the show with a 49 rating and Raven is our new champion. I've got to stop calling him Raven. Scotty the Body, it's not a great name. That's probably why he changed it. But he has continued to put in some good performances and he's earned himself the title. Now that gets a 61 overall for the show and it increases our popularity in one region. Hopefully, it actually increases our popularity and doesn't just nudge it a little bit. But for a show without Malenko and Jarrett, 61 is better than I was expecting. We will give some praise to Scotty the Body and tell Jerry Lynn that he is awesome. I mean, is there anything else we can do other than tell him he's awesome? No. Great. Wonderful. Both seem pleased, happy. Yes, excellent. Finance-wise, 570. So what was that? Well, that was under our estimate of 600, wasn't it? So we should, again, still be making 450 plus this month. We'll get to there at the end of, well, the month, obviously, because it's only the 2nd of July now. Popularity recap, we go up to 11. So that will increase our gains from sponsorship and merchandise again. So again, we are hopefully going to be around about 450, 500 for the profit for the month. But at this pivotal point in the episode, show 3 of 4 done. I'm showing 7 fingers. Well, 75% of the way through the episode. So we'll be back in, well, a few seconds to see how we did for the month and what our final show of the episode, Endgame, in 34 days, what that looks like. It's the 6th of August when we get back. And we'll do a review. Endgame's moved from October as well, by the way. But we'll do a review of our finances and get to the final show of the episode. New champion. Okay then, were the maths good enough? Let's see. So for July's finances, no, my maths was out by a couple of $100. It's $715 profit for the month. Wow. Okay, so sponsorship came in higher. Merchandise also came in a bit higher as well. And, well, that's good to see, isn't it? So we made a profit of $715. I think that's justification for turning on ticket prices once again. So we'll go from free to very cheap. And let's just check that. So we'll be getting in for nearly $5. In fact, hang on. We are at 11. Okay, so it'll be $5 a ticket for our event if we go to very cheap. I don't think we need to go. I mean, 9. Okay, we'll go. Well, 7 for cheap. How many? Maybe we'll try cheap out for this show and see next time around whether we've. Basically, we'll see how many people turn up as to see whether we can push it any higher or whether we pushed it too high itself. Right, so I don't think we've got anyone. So we've got 3 months left on the contracts of the Legion of Death. They've done so much better than we were expecting. So when it comes to be time for renewal, I will actually renew them and not just let them expire. The Battens obviously haven't done much yet since coming back, but they've got a few. Well, 5 months left until the end of the year when I think their contract ends in January, so we'll see what happens there. But tonight's Endgame. It's time for the final episode, final show of the episode today. Our 4th show, Endgame, been moved from October forward to August. So we'll see how we get going on. So we're expecting 112 fans in attendance tonight, which is only 20 less than when it was free. So that is going to be a good decision, I think, because we're going to be making a lot of money on the tickets. Right, booking team meeting, we've got 67. I am going to spend some creative energy on an angle idea. And it's a safe bet, but can only be applied when Ron Harris is on an on-screen roll. And we've got Ron Harris in an angle tonight, so that is excellent. We can do that. Brilliant. Locker room incidents before the show. Al Snow does some training. Todd Morton's got heat for being selfish. Nothing noteworthy has happened. Brad Batten and Scotty the Body are now travel buddies. Okay, excellent. I'm not quite sure why Raven's annoyed. Al Snow's had a bit of a clash backstage with Bart Batten, the morale officer, because nobody likes a morale officer. Rocky King is also upset with Bart Batten, and that's it. So okay, just don't have a morale officer. That is what I can say from this so far. Addressing the locker room, we're just going to inspire. I mean, yeah, we'll inspire. See if that helps. Why not? Inspirational piece. Everyone is now fired up and buzzing with anticipation. Excellent. Right, let's go into tonight's show. The only absentee is Don Harris with his injury. There are 6 segments booked. We are only doing 4 matches, 2 angles. We should be good to go with that. Let's drop in our main event, which is this one here. Drop that one into the show. We're also going to be dropping in this one into the show as well. Yep, that's the one. Excellent. This one here is where we're going to be adding in that angle idea Yep, add that in. Wonderful, excellent. And then we've also got a couple of other matches to drop in here. Stevie Ray's angle there. And the tag match to open the show. Okay, so 66 minutes, 82% matches. Wonderful. Let's just get straight into things. So we've got 114 people in attendance. And we start with that aspiring tag team of Angus King and Dean Malenko. Malenko obviously dragging the performance of everybody up because it's Dean Malenko. The match gets a 37. Christopher Daniels, unfortunately, was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everyone's in-ring performance. That does surprise me. Obviously, he's only young. He's only 20, I think. So he's still very, very young. He put in a 21. Malenko got a 65. Kane and Todd Morton in the mid-30s now as well. So that's probably why it's showing as Daniels as the weak link. But generally, 37 rating for the match is a good start to the show for our undercard. Obviously, it's quite low for Dean Malenko, but he's on the back burner. He's not getting the overness he would get if anyone else was putting in that sort of level of performance, because he's just not got the star quality to be a championship contender. But we'll bring him back off the back burner at some point and put him to good use further up the card later. But obviously we've got a layer of heels in front of him, like Jeff Jarrett, who we aren't even using tonight, and obviously our champion, Raven. Right, moving forward, first angle of the night. Stevie Ray talks about... Oh, I put the angles in the wrong order. Never mind. Stevie Ray talks about the opportunity that his brother's got tonight, and if beating Rocky King gets you a title match, then he's going to do the same thing as well. Spoiler for the angle that's going to happen in a couple of segments' time. I got my angles the wrong way round. Never mind. Stevie Ray works the crowd well, gets a 54 rating for this one, and then goes into a match. Rocky King dropping a dud once again, but it's got a 31. 110th Street Slam from Stevie Ray, gets the JOB, gets the job done. 38 performance from Stevie Ray is good as well. 31 for the match overall, a little bit less than hoped, but Rocky King still rusty. A few more matches, he'll get rid of that, but he's probably not going to be around for too much longer. We're jobbing him out. His popularity was in 38 to 37 kind of range. Hopefully this brings Stevie Ray up like it did for Booker T. We should have probably looked at that before the show, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, then we've got a nice angle to start things out, which gets a 59 rating, and Ron Harris looks dreadful in it. Never mind, he's been overshadowed by everyone else in there. So, Jerry Lynn starts the show. Yep, we've put the angles in the wrong order. And he's fuming with Scotty the Body, demands a rematch. But Scotty arrives and tells him that he'll have to beat Ron Harris tonight in order to earn another title match. As that's going on and that match is being made, they're interrupted by Booker T, who tells Scotty that he's a former tag champion and deserves a chance at heavyweight gold. If Ron's already busy, it looks like Scotty's got no choice but to accept. And that should have started the show at 59, but it didn't, because I put it in the wrong place on my booking sheet. Never mind, but still a good angle rating. The angle idea was a success, even though Ron Harris looked dreadful in the segment. Moving forward, Jerry Lynn puts a clinic on, a 77 rating. Scotty the Body was at ringside, but Ron Harris could not get the job done. He put in a 53, which is not to be sniffed at in the slightest. But a cradle power driver gets the victory, and a 62 match rating out of a Harris brother is a job well done for Jerry Lynn. Well done to him. And my thoughts about putting the title on Raven instead of keeping the popularity up with Jerry Lynn is possibly backfiring, because he's bringing out matches like that against Ron Harris. Hopefully that will have done some good for Ron Harris's popularity as well, but we shall see. Then we go into the main event, which is a little bit of a letdown, unfortunately. Exceptional match, though. Scotty the Body defeats Booker T with a pile driver and makes his first defense of the title. They've both put in really strong performances, actually, just either side of 50. But the crowd rating brought them down a little bit. Obviously, neither man has got the popularity that Jerry Lynn has got at the moment either. But a segment rating of 46 is a strong way to finish the show. Not quite as strong as if we put the matches in another way round, but we live and learn. Are we still going to get popularity boost? Yes, 46. Fans a little bit disappointed that the storylines further during the show none really had any dramatic stakes. Sorry. I'm not sorry in the slightest. Popularity should have increased. If, obviously, the Jerry Lynn match was last, it would have put the show rating a little bit higher. But 114 in attendance is going to be good. Finance-wise, we have made money from the show. $798 from ticket sales. We are now at the point where we can definitely charge for tickets here. Hopefully that will not have hampered the growth too much. but we shall see. Worker cost of 480 is good as well, nice and solid. Popularity recap still at 11, so we are slightly hampered a little bit by not having the full popularity increase from being free. But when we get to the 1994, we'll reevaluate our schedule again, and whether going back to more shows will help or not, we'll see. But I think for the rest of the year, we'll keep ticking on at one a month, start charging for shows, start slowly ticking up the profit as well, and get back towards zero, because we are obviously in a little bit of the red right now, finance-wise. But that is just how things happen when you're doing a local to global save. Al Snow's extended his deal with River City Wrestling. Who cares about that? Not me. There we go. So we've got Hostile Territory in our next event, but that will be in the next episode, as we've turned things around today, and we've got 4 shows left of the year. Hostile Territory, Collision Course, King of Combat, and then Clash of the Titans to close the year in December. And then we'll do it all over again as we get to January for Glory Road. Right, that is a good way to end the episode, I think. Scotty the Body is our new champion. He's held it now for 36 days. Jerry Lynn's reign of 238 days. Not quite the same length as Jeff Jarrett's, but he's definitely up there as well. And obviously tag team champions, the Legion of Death, Brian Lee and Tommy Angel. After a very short, brief reign for the Ebony Experience of just 28 days. But obviously that was force majeure because the Harris brothers had to relinquish the titles. Now, I did mention I was going to have a quick look through popularity and any changes that have happened. Angus King's only up to 23. Booker T's on 35 now. If we look at his progress, that's come on nicely. And so it jumped up to 37 before that last show. But it's come up nicely on the last few weeks. And we'll go anyone else to mention. Obviously, Brian Lee's up at 35. Dean Malenko at 34. Jarrett's on 47, Jerry Lynn's on 49, so it's not quite as high as it was. It peaked at 51, dropped down a little bit, but he's coming back on a rebound. And then if we get down to Scotty the Body, hopefully he's not increasing as much as I was hoping for, actually. So Stevie Ray's on 34, Scotty is on 37. It's not quite, where's Southeast, so it's come up, but not quite as high as I would have hoped from beating Jerry Lynn. Maybe we'll have to run that back again and see if we can bleed a bit more popularity from Jerry onto Raven. Maybe we'll have some sort of gimmick match. Obviously, Jerry Lynn has secured another title shot by beating Ron Harris, so maybe we'll do a cage match again, or maybe even a ladder match. We'll have to find out in the next episode. Obviously, we did our first gimmick match today, that cage match between Lynn and Jarrett. Obviously, Jarrett needs to get himself back in the title picture as well. He's at 47 popularity. To Lynn's 49, so we need to do something with Jarrett, otherwise he's going to start getting really annoyed for not having matches on the last few shows. But you can't have him have a match every week, so every month. Anyway, right, that's the end of today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a long one once again, but this is what happens with Local to Global. We get through 4 shows, we're 4 months through, and we just keep ticking. Size-wise, we're up to 11 in the Southeast. So my target of getting to tiny by the end of year isn't going to happen if we start charging for shows, that's for sure. But that's just how we get on. We're just slowly building. By the time we get through to the Attitude Era, or whatever it will be called in this universe, I'm sure we'll be nice and big and on TV as well. And that's something else we need to start considering. What is the point to start looking at broadcasters? I mean, if we quickly look now, I bet there is nobody who will even be remotely interested in negotiating with us. No, there is not. So when that list starts having someone on it, we'll start giving some serious thought about having a weekly show or something like that. Right, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I will see you next time for the next instalment of Local to Global 1992. Thanks for watching.